I am so excited to speak to our guest today. She is an aesthetic physician assistant all the way from Delray Beach. Please help me to introduce Illiana.
Thank you for having me, Jonathan. Hi, everybody. My name is Iliana Tzikas. I'm a PA here at Fifth Avenue Plastic Surgery in Delray Beach. I'm so excited to be here.
Hi, my name is Jonathan McLean, and I'm the founder and CEO of McLean Aesthetics.
Welcome to the dark side.
Let's go.
Hey, Illiana, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. I'm in your office that you're working in right now. And it's amazing.
Thank you so much.
So I want to rewind back. How did you get inside of this industry?
So I kind of went a non-specific route. I kind of went a little bit every which way. So I do have a background in this. So my dad is a renowned facial plastic surgeon. So I did grow up kind of going in the ORs around 3 to 4 years old, basically watching him perform full facelifts. And I kind of like run around the office. So I always was really exposed to plastic surgery in and of itself. But I never really fully thought that that was gonna be my path. I actually wanted to be a veterinarian when I was younger, so a different aspect of medicine. But actually, so when I was 13 years old, I did have an unfortunate cancer diagnosis. I was diagnosed with AML, which is very rare type of leukemia. It's usually found in patient populations of upwards 60 years old. So as a 13-year-old being diagnosed with it, it was kind of a shock to the system. But, you know, I was treated at the best hospital in the country, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And actually, it's where I met my first PA. So I didn't know what a PA was, what they could do. And, you know, just seeing the way that they followed me throughout my entire care, they were basically my most stable provider during my entire treatment. So being able to see what a PA does and what they're capable of doing really inspired me to kind of go that route. And, you know, I do know what it's like on the other side being a cancer survivor and kind of seeing, you know, what happens post-op or, you know, long-term complications of cancer. You know, people usually think, oh, let's just treat the patient. Let's get them to survive. Okay, great. But, you know, what's the long-term complications of that? So I definitely experienced a couple complications. One of them being GVH, which is graft versus host disease. I had it of my skin. So I unfortunately had something that was very apparent. And it did make me very self-conscious. And actually another PA treated me for that. And she was incredible, was able to kind of get rid of the GVH. And I was kind of able to kind of go on and live my life as a normal, you know, person. So just seeing that really made me want to do what I do today. And it's really rewarding because now I deal with a lot of cancer survivors too, and I kind of help them on their journey. So it's kind of come full circle, and I really love it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I want to just first congratulate you for surviving and getting through it, especially at 13. That had been so hard for you to do.
Definitely. Yeah. I don't wish it on my worst enemy, but you know, I'm here, and honestly, it's made me stronger, and it's kind of made me and the person I am today. It's, you know, it's my character. So.
No, I can definitely understand that. Definitely understand that. How does that help kind of with I know you say you treat a lot of cancer patients.
I do.
How does that help with kind of speaking to them and kind of going down that road with them? Well,
it's definitely scary for the patient. So they'll come in and they'll be very vulnerable with me, which I really appreciate because I know firsthand how it is to be vulnerable and be in that position. So, you know, when they talk to me and we have kind of a heart-to-heart, me being able to relate to them makes them feel so much more comfortable, and it makes them feel seen. A lot of patients who I see who have scars, either surgical scars or, you know, anything pertaining, especially to a traumatic past, they've been not looked down upon, but they've been kind of cast aside. And a lot of doctors don't really want to do anything to them. So me kind of being able to relate to them is one thing, but me also being able to say, look, I know that we can do some things to improve this and turn an ugly scar into a pretty scar. And, you know, the glow on their faces, it really is what keeps me going.
Wow, that's amazing. That's powerful, really powerful, because like you're at your lowest, anything you're dealing with in life, like you're very vulnerable, and to go into an office and somebody can empathize with that and really talk you and lead you down that road, that's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge.
It really is. And, you know, when I was kind of going through my, you know, long-term kind of journey with being a cancer survivor, I really didn't have anybody there. You know, I was left with some scarring, you know, so I didn't really have anybody besides my, you know, my dad, who is, you know, a plastic surgeon in this office, who was able to kind of help me with some of the surgical treatments. So that's kind of what I wanted to do for somebody else.
Definitely can understand that, for sure, for sure. Yeah. Now I want to ask you, do you have like an artistic background?
I do, actually.
Tell us about that.
I do. So I love this field of medicine because it kind of helps me mesh my artistic background into it. Actually, I've been acting for 10 plus years. I've been in a couple movies and TV shows. So I kind of find like that's my creative outlet. I didn't see it as a long-term career, but you know, that's kind of how I got my creative outlet out. So I found that I use it here and there, you know, with patients. You're kind of like, you know, acting a little bit, but...
And being personable, I'm sure that helps
too. Exactly. It helps you kind of be able to relate to a patient. You know, a lot of acting, they want you to kind of dig deep and put yourself in other people's shoes. And so I feel like it helped me become more empathetic towards my patients as well.
Well, that's super cool. So did you do anything that we know about or anything that you can point out there?
I did a lot of like indie movies and like TV shows. Yeah, so there's some things. I mean, I think one of my things is on like Amazon Prime now. You could watch it.
That's super cool though. Super cool because it makes you more well-rounded, I feel like when you're talking to people.
Definitely.
You can empathize.
Yeah.
How big do you think like being very sociable and letting people know about your life is a part of being like aesthetic injector?
I think it's a really big part. This field of medicine isn't like any other field of medicine, and it was actually pretty eye-opening when I first joined the practice because all of my rotations in my background were in the core medical fields that people kind of think of when they think of medicine, you know, cardiology, you know, GI, nephrology, you know, all of these kind of like bigger picture medical, you know, fields and staples. And so aesthetic medicine, you know, was a little bit different an avenue. So I really do feel like, you know, it was important.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Now, I do recruiting. I get so many calls from aesthetic PAs and Ps, things like that. And they're like, I'm giving up hope. I'm new to this industry. I don't know how to get inside. What tips can you give to them?
So it definitely is a really hard field of medicine to get into. I'm sure everybody who's trying to get into aesthetic medicine kind of realizes that. You know, there are a couple things that I really do recommend, and that's just training. Training. It doesn't matter what it is, online webinars, going to in-person trainings, attending amazing, you know, conferences and lectures, even reaching out to a lot of really big names on social media. Actually, a lot of people don't realize, you know, we do have our famous injectors and famous providers on social media. But when I was first starting out, I was like, you know, what's it gonna hurt if I try and reach out to some of these people just so I can kind of get a grasp of the industry? And you'd be surprised how many people actually responded. So I feel like just doing that would really help you as an injector. And this field of medicine is ever changing, you know, especially, you know, when I was in PA school, a lot of my professors kept emphasizing that this is a field of medicine that you never stop learning in. You're gonna keep learning. You know, we're learning new things every day about aesthetic medicine. You know, there unfortunately aren't a lot of studies that come out that follow patients long-term with products we're injecting or lasers or devices that we're using. And so that's kind of just happening. So even, you know, older injectors are starting to kind of change their way of thinking about, you know, products that they're using on a daily basis. So, you know, it is an ever learning kind of field. So just constantly learning. I mean, I'm still going to webinars, lectures, conferences all the time, and I really think it's super beneficial. And, you know, it's great for networking at the end of the day.
Can you touch on that a little bit more? How can you network at one of these events?
So basically just be yourself and go up to people. I mean, being sociable is part of, you know, this field, right? Like you're sociable with your patients, you know, this whole thing is you connecting and forming relationships with people. So it's the same thing with networking. So I remember my entire first year of injecting, I went to so many conferences and lectures and trainings, and I would just go up and introduce myself and, you know, tell them like, look, I'm a newer injector. I would love to get any golden nuggets of wisdom that you have. And they were all more than happy to kind of share some wisdom with me, which honestly was amazing. This field is actually super, you know, close-knit. As large as it seems, it's actually pretty close-knit.
Is that community important?
100%. 100%. Everybody kind of intermingles in this community, and I was actually shocked to see how, therefore injectors, these other injectors are.
Yeah.
I thought, it was going to be a very, head-to-head battle amongst injectors down the street or, next city over.
Yeah.
But everybody is so there for one another, and it's honestly so nice to see. And so it really is, amazing, the networking. Like I have like 50 injectors in one of our Instagram group chats, and if anybody ever has a question, even really big name injectors still ask questions all the time. And everybody's there to kind of help one another. So it's really amazing.
Yeah, that sounds great. It sounds like a support aspect.
100%.
So let's talk about what's trending down here in Delray. What are patients asking for?
So my clientele is very natural based. So I do more of a conservative approach. Not to say that there are some patients who have like a little bit of a different of an aesthetic. And, depending on their face shape, if they can hold certain things, I'll kind of go depending on their anatomy themselves. But a lot of what's happening is preventative medicine and biostimulators, which I love. I feel like that's kind of where the future is headed, using your own body to heal itself and kind of turn back the hands of time, basically. So a lot of what I've been, utilizing in the office are biostimulators like Radiesse, like Sculptra. Sculptra is amazing. It stimulates your own bodily function of collagen, and, it kind of just gives you a nice glow, a nice plump. And, long term, it lasts a long time and the results look super natural. So it kind of reverts part of the anti-aging process or the aging process, and, it'll help you in the long run. And in combination, I've been doing a lot of microneedling, radio frequency, and laser combinations. There's been a very large emphasis on skin health, which I love. I think it's amazing because, in the past, growing up and seeing my dad inject, the emphasis on skin health and, kind of helping your skin for your future self, there wasn't much of an emphasis on it. And I have a lot of younger, patients who are really placing an emphasis on it, and I love it. I'm so all for it. So I've been doing a lot of microneedling, radio frequency treatments in combination with lasers just to kind of give you a really nice glow and just build up that collagen in your skin from those devices as well to kind of better you and, give you a one-up in the future.
Awesome. Yeah. Now, when it comes to Sculptra and Radiesse, where are people using it most on the body?
Oh my God, everywhere. Everywhere, every which way. So obviously in the face, that's where it was indicated for. But I'm seeing a lot of, hyperdilute Radiesse in the neck, which is amazing. Sculptra BBLs.
Yeah.
Sculptra actually in areas of, scarring. Sculptra in areas of stretch marks, which honestly looks amazing. So anybody who's had any kind of, pregnancies that have left them with a little bit of skin laxity, injecting Sculptra and doing combination laser and device treatments like the microneedling radio frequency has been a game changer.
Yeah.
Above the knees, it's everywhere. You think, you name it, you could put it there.
Nice. I know we were talking a little bit about skincare behind the scenes.
Yes.
Why is it so important to have that combination package?
It is. I always tell my patients, no matter what we do in this office, whether it be fillers, whether it be neurotoxins, lasers, anything, it's going to mean nothing unless you have a really good basis on skincare. And that means sunscreen. Sunscreen is so important. At least having sunscreen in your skincare is like step one.
Yeah.
But I always kind of talk over skincare with my patients. It's very, very important to have a really good understanding of skincare and how it's going to benefit your skin in the long run. And that means, the staples, vitamin C, having a good moisturizer, utilizing acids and retinoids in your treatments or in your skincare. It's definitely going to help you with any treatment that we do in the office. It's going to help you maintain that and prolong the results of what we do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to social media, I know you are starting your social media and growing it.
Yeah.
It's going good. You're getting an organic following.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. How hard was that? And what are the benefits of having a good social media?
Oh my gosh, it's key in this field. It's key. It basically is our business card.
Yeah.
So you really do need to have social media, whether you like it or not. But it, it helps you, develop a relationship with your followers too.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it really is important. I personally was never a big social media person, so it was a really big 180 for me to kind of delve into the world. Actually, one of our surgeons, he's amazing with social media, so we kind of had a good heart-to-heart when I first started, and I was like, teach me everything. And he gave me some really good tips, and like at the base of it was just post. Be yourself authentically and just post what you think you would want to see. And, the target audience that you want to kind of grasp and like bring into the office. So that's what I did. And so I'm a little quirky. I like to do funny videos, but I like to make them educational at the end of the day too, because who wants a boring educational video where you're gonna sit there and listen to something for like 20 minutes? No one's gonna pay attention after 5 minutes. So I feel like it was really important for me to kind of mesh all that together. And so, just kind of being yourself authentically is gonna draw the right patient population to you. And I haven't been doing anything that's, not organic in my Instagram growth, and it really has been paying off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's super cool. Yeah. Being organic and being personable, like you said, really works.
It really does. People want to get to know you at the end of the day. Appointments with me are kind of like a little powwow with a friend. So, they want to get to know you as a person. I feel like that's what makes the best injector-patient relationship.
Being in this industry and injecting, is there any tips you can give to providers that maybe they should worry about this, or maybe they should watch out for this during your career?
There are a couple things.
Okay.
So one of the biggest things I have been seeing are patients coming to me from injectors that have overfilled them. Overfilled syndrome is such a big thing right now. I can't tell you how many patients I've been dissolving left and right. I have to sit there and have a really deep heart-to-heart with these patients because there are a lot of misguided providers out there. And a lot of them just keep saying yes to the patient. I mean, I'm sure you've seen Black China in social media and in pop culture, and she's been dissolving all of her filler because she unfortunately had an injector who didn't tell her no. And I feel like if you ever have a patient who looks overfilled, it's your obligation to say no and to set them straight, because these procedures, at the end of the day, they are medical procedures, and I feel like people take them very lightly a lot of the time. So it really is important for you to kind of steer this patient in the right direction, especially young patients.
Yeah.
This isn't about fully altering your face to look like an Instagram filter.
Yeah.
This is for you to be yourself, but your best self. I'm all about emphasizing, your natural contours of your cheeks, or emphasizing some dimples, that you have, or your beautiful chin, just elongating it, or giving you a nice gloss effect to your lip, or, stuff like that. So I feel like that's really, important for injectors now and injectors who, people in the future who want to become injectors as well. It's important.
And to my understanding, that takes a lot of syringes. Like, I know people, that's not just one or two or three.
Syringes. Yeah. So many. Yeah. I mean, I always tell my patients, one syringe is like the size of a blueberry.
Yeah.
To get what we call pillow face, which is just a very overfilled appearance to the face, requires like over 20 syringes. So, it requires patients going back multiple times, and every 6 months getting 2 syringes, 3 syringes, 4 syringes, and the provider not saying no.
Gotcha.
So I feel like it is, our responsibility to be like, you know what, I think we've kind of reached our limit, or your face can't hold this, or your anatomy just doesn't fit what you're looking for, So managing expectations is so important at the end of the day.
What do you do if a client comes in and say, hey, that's the look I want?
It really depends. It really depends. Like, for example, I have a lot of patients coming in being like, I want these big, luscious lips, right? But they have a lip that is so pencil thin that no amount of filler I do is gonna help give them the end result that they want. Managing expectations is so important because you don't wanna give patients the wrong idea about anything you do. You want to prepare them so they don't end up upset.
Yeah.
The last thing us injectors want are patients coming back being like, well, you promised this. And it's like, oh, no, I did not promise was that? I managed your expectations before we even started this. Like, I gave you realistic results of what, you know, I think would kind of be your outcome. So, you know, that's what that is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to conferences, what are some conferences that injectors can attend that you recommend?
So I've been to so many conferences. My entire first year, like I said, I was just going every week, every weekend to online webinars, lectures, conferences, workshops, in-person trainings. I think one of my favorite ones that I've ever been to was AES, which is the Aesthetic Extender Symposium.
Yeah.
It's usually held in Boca.
Yes.
And headed by the amazing Christy Lennox. She's a genius. I had the benefit of training with her for one of the filler brands as well. She's one of my, you know, icons, basically. And she just really brings all of these big innovators from across the world, actually, to come and speak on really new, innovative things in our field. And I learned so much. I've been utilizing a lot of the stuff that I've been learning at those symposiums, and I feel like it's helped me accelerate as an injector faster than if I didn't attend, you know, any of these lectures or symposiums. So
yeah, I can definitely understand that. And I've even attended the AES, and it's a really good conference.
It's so good.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Is there any key opinion leaders that you can suggest for the audience?
Oh my God. Yes, so many. I think I follow like almost like 600, 700 people on Instagram, and I feel like they're all equally amazing. But I will say, especially for newer injectors, because I am, you know, a newer injector, there are a couple people who they come to the forefront of my mind because they really helped me as an injector. So a couple of them are Erica Berry. She's amazing. Adrienne Easterling, Nicola Lowry, Professor Codofana, Dan Aesthetics, Julie Bass Kaplan. I can honestly go on and on. Lemore Weinberg. I mean, all of these people are freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And they really helped me progress and understand the why to things, you know. And a lot of those injectors who I mentioned as well are at the forefront of their own studies, you know, their own clinical studies, which I think is amazing. And it's so impressive, and I want to do that in the future too. And I feel like they're basically you know, at the forefront. I probably didn't mention a lot. There's so many of these people, but
yeah, no, I agree.
They're all amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, with this job being so high maintenance, like you have to follow up, you have to do a lot. How do you kind of get that work-life balance and not burn out?
It was hard for me to kind of figure out how to get the proper work-life balance in the beginning, especially because I was attending so many trainings and everything like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, my patients who I do want to have my phone number. They're able to contact me whenever I want. But being able to kind of cut off leaving work and you go home and you don't work anymore. I feel like that's really, really important to kind of maintain the work-life balance. This field of medicine, aesthetic medicine, has the capabilities of being one of the best fields of medicine with the best work-life balance. It's just kind of how you work it and how you utilize it in your daily life. So it did take me a little while. You know, I did feel a little bit of burnout in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, but that's because I really just wanted to immerse myself and learn everything. But there's time, and I told myself that, you know, there's time to learn everything. And you kind of just have to roll with the punches. And take it easy on yourself. Don't compare yourself to other people.
Yeah, and some great vacations.
Great vacations, yep, 100%.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me, speaking more about the aesthetic industry. Tell everybody where they can find you and what you got planned next.
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram. My handle is illiana.the.pa. I'm also on TikTok. We don't know how much longer TikTok's going to be with us.
Yeah.
But same handle. And again, I'm here at Fifth Avenue Plastic Surgery. So if anybody wants to come visit me, you know where to find me.
All right. Awesome. And until next time, bye.